Hi there, Hamish McLachlan here, and a big thanks for watching The Last Time I Cried, brought to you by AIA Vitality. Dayne Beams sat down to talk to us about the last time he cried. It was so compelling, we've decided to run the chat as 2 episodes. In 2017, Dayne Beams was the captain of the Brisbane Lions.
Plays on quickly. Beams wanted it. He's capable from there, Dayne Beams. It's bending back. It's absolutely perfect.
And was arguably in the best form of his football career. Privately though, Dane was struggling to deal with his father's battle with cancer, which he ultimately lost in March 2018. In part 1 of Dane's story, he opened up about his toughest moments as he watched his father succumb to his illness and why returning to football was so difficult.
Here he is, Beams steps on through.
Thanks for coming in, Dane.
Thanks for having me.
You a crier?
I used to cry, a lot. Haven't sort of for a month or 2, but yeah, it's only been sort of that period of time where I've been able to sort of talk about my father.
You and Phil were best of mates. Your parents divorced when you were 5. You always wanted to be with Dad?
Yeah, I was born in Yarrawonga, so little country town there on the border of New South Wales and Victoria, and grew up there till I was 5, and Mum and Dad moved to Queensland to try and sort of salvage their marriage, and it didn't work out, and Dad and I had sort of a real sort of unique bond. So yeah, up until I was about, I think 13, it was the sort of age when I was able to live with him. Yeah, me and him just had an unbelievable relationship.
So, what did he teach you? Why did you get so close? How did you get so close?
I don't know. I just think as a kid, like I grew up just idolising, Dad. Like it was just, he was my hero. Like he was everything to me. Just had him on a pedestal, and he could never do anything wrong. Like it was just, I don't know what it was. It was just, I just felt so safe when I was around Dad. And I've always been a little bit of a shy, introverted person, and I just felt like Dad got me, like understood me. Like I think sometimes I've been misunderstood my whole life, and I just felt like he was the one that really sort of understood me as a person.
How do you reckon you were misunderstood, and what did he see in you that others didn't?
I'm not the centre of attention. I've never have been. I just sort of like to go about my business privately, and people sort of misread that as me being angry or arrogant, when it was just who I was. Like, and I felt like Dad would never push me or try and talk to me when he didn't want to be spoken to. He just understood me. Yeah, we spoke every single day. There wasn't a day that went by we didn't talk. So whether it was later on in his life, he discovered a text message. So
it's funny how fathers get it late in life, and once they're onto it.
Yeah. Once he was onto it, he didn't stop.
So when your parents separated, he stayed in Queensland?
Yeah, he stayed with us kids, yeah.
And when he got sick, that was when you wanted to move to Queensland and head to the Lions to be with Dad? Yeah,
so the start of 2014 was when he was first diagnosed, and I still remember, like I was sitting out the back of my house, and he called me, and it was a real strange call because I could tell he was nervous. And he told me, and I remember sitting out the back, crying about it, and just at that stage we didn't know what was sort of going on, like what the process was or anything. It was just all sort of up in the air, and that season sort of played out. And the pre-season of that year was when he had his first surgery. He never had surgery before, and I can remember him going in for his first surgery, and like my dad was a tough sort of guy. Like he didn't, he didn't really feel much pain, but I still remember his face. He was so scared, like when he was getting wheeled into that theatre, and it ended up being like 7 hours, so that was quite stressful. And then when they cut it out, it was it was all good. Like nothing was. They pretty much went into remission. And with bowel cancer, it's just one of those things. Like it can come back, and it came back, and from there it was just it was real quick. Like, basically from there it was just watching him die. So, yeah, it was pretty shit.
So you were watching, as you say, him struggle and eventually die initially from afar. Must have been really tough, not being next to him.
Footy was just so hard. The year he died, 2018, that season, the 2017 season was just, it was just sort of like hell for me. You know, it's just like blow after blow after blow. It's just like, it just wears you down. And the doctors are so blunt about it.
Matter of fact.
Yeah, they just, they tell you reality, what it is and what's going to happen. And yeah, so 2017 was hard because he was diagnosed again in October. They gave him 3 years in October to a follow-up appointment in November, and it went to 1 year, and then he had a follow-up appointment again in December, and it went to 6 months. Yeah, and then in January he was given 3 months, and then he died in February 28th. So over the space of 4 months, it went from 3 years to dead. So it was just so quick, and I'd never seen anything like it. It was, I knew about cancer, but I just didn't know the severity and how bad it can get. In the end, he was, we had a hospital bed set up in my house. Upstairs, he lived in one of the spare bedrooms upstairs for a while until he then couldn't get up the stairs. Yeah, and then then having him in the hospital bed downstairs and doing things like cleaning his bum and watching him. Just stuff you should be doing with your parents. Yeah, so from there it was, once he was downstairs, he was only there for a little bit, and it was just too much for us to handle on our own. And yeah, he went into hospital for the last 5 nights, and yeah, that's where he died.
Were you with him when he passed?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. I was there till 7, and I went home, and yeah, the hospital called, and they sort of know that they've been around, they know it. They're in that palliative care ward and they know the stages, so they rang us and just said, you better come back. And yeah, he had all of his kids, his brother and his sister, and yeah, it was horrible. I saw the image in my head, because he sort of, I was sort of on the left-hand side, and his right-hand side, and he sort of rolled it. He just looked at me and he's died. His eyes were rolling in the back of his head. He just took his last breath. My brother and I did want to leave him, and yeah, with him all the way down until they put him into the morgue.
How do you remember him?
Oh, he was he was a gentle man. Loved everyone. He had so much more living to do. He was only 56. And my wife was pregnant with our second kid when he died, and Carter was only born a couple of months after him dying. And I remember telling him, because I wanted to call him Philip.
When you had your best moment together, where was it?
At the pub.
The perfect father-son relationship.
Yeah.
Footy.
Dad enjoyed a beer, and that's where footy sort of became really hard for me, because everything about footy was my dad. When I was in Brisbane, he'd come to my house before every home game, and he'd drive into the game with me. He'd just talk about the game, and I was pretty quiet. Like, I'd get quite nervous, so I wouldn't say a whole lot. But yeah, then after the game, he'd be pretty full at the end of the game. So yeah, he'd come back and pretty much meet me at the same spot I left him, and we'd just drive home, and sometimes he'd fall asleep in the car. Other times we'd talk about the game, but depending if we won or lost. But
he was a very good footballer.
I wasn't old enough to remember him playing footy, but everyone tells me how good he was, and he won 7 BNFs at Mulwala Footy Club, and yeah, the best and fairest is named after Dad. So
sounds like there's one thing you need to do in footy.
Yeah, I'd love to go and play back at Mull where Dad played, just purely just to sort of pull on the jumper. I'd love to play where he won 7 BNFs and the medal's named after him, and yeah, it's something that I want to do eventually, but at the moment I'm not thinking about football, so it will be something that I do though.
Make sure you remember your dad as a healthy Philip you had a beer with.
It's been hard to sort of be able to remember him like that. I feel like I'm coming out of that now, and I could actually sort of smile about him and think about all the good things, because there's so many good memories with Dad. Like,